Stephen A. Smith, First Take, Big Perk, all together, came on today and gave huge compliments towards Caitlin Clark, huge praise. And not only there, they were on Twitter as well, giving love to Caitlin Clark. And people seem to not like it, man.
But she's Caitlin Clark. She put on a show in her old stomping grounds in Iowa versus Brazil.
During Thanksgiving dinner, Stephen A. Smith burst like your uncle. But this time it wasn't about LeBron or the Cowboys. Rather, it was about Caitlin Clark potentially winning MVP as a rookie. Yes, Stephen A. made the most outrageous and amusing argument ever. He went all Shakespeare meets ESPN, screaming and raving and possibly perspiring through his suit. If Caitlin isn't your MVP yet, Stephen A. might just holler you into agreement. Stephen A. Smith is loud, passionate, and sensitive to stillness, but when he suddenly launches into a monologue, it's more of an audio earthquake than a conversation. And this time, the epicenter of the earthquake is, yes, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's newest walking bucket logo sniper and occasional ego destroyer, has succeeded in getting Mr. Volume 100 to burst into verbal fireworks, revealing why she may be this season's MVP.
Including this three-pointer that was deeper than the three she hit when she broke the all-time NCAA score record. Big Perk, what are your expectations for Caitlin Clark this season?
Man, Stephen A., she is just different. She's special. Just a different type of electricity, man. Did you hear the roar of the crowd while that shot was in flight? Like, I'm expecting big things from her, especially MVP type conversation things. Like, I think she's ready. She know it's her second year. She know what type of physicality it's gonna take. Look like she's always in great shape, never afraid of the moment. Again, we're talking about Caitlin Clark here. The spotlight been on her for years. She's not gonna shy away from it. I expect her to be in the MVP conversation.
Well, let's remember this. Last year, in her rookie campaign, it was immediately after she had gone to the national championship game in the NCAA tournament, and then less than 2 months later, she's got a WNBA season where she started and played all 40 games, finishes the unanimous Rookie of the Year, all WNBA first team, finished fourth in league MVP voting, and then I'm looking at the regular season leading all...
This Thanksgiving-level outburst from Stephen A. Smith was stoked by the idea that Caitlin Clark would win MVP as a rookie, not by LeBron or the Cowboys. Smith went on a crazy, hilarious tirade, vehemently defending his position. If you weren't already convinced that Clark is a strong contender for MVP, Stephen A.'s passionate tirade might just be enough to convince you. He really went all out for the rookie sensation that the rookies made Lana. Smith, a man known for his loudness and passionate views, is anything but subtle. His on-air portions feature more loud booms than conversations. His most recent vocal outburst, the WNBA rookie sensation Caitlin Clark's spectacular scoring and fearless demeanor, have sparked a full-fledged verbal spat from Smith, who is loudly and passionately arguing why Clark, in her first season, deserves serious consideration for the MVP award. If you support Caitlin Clark, subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. The GOAT down below is CC.
What does she mean to women's sports?
I just think that she's elevating the profile of women's sports in a way that most women should deeply appreciate. She's a phenomenal player. She's a phenomenal shooter. I call her the Steph Curry of women's basketball. I've been calling her that since last year.
Let's be clear, Stephen A. Smith doesn't just talk, he performs. He takes advantage of the situation by questioning the air and hurling arguments like confetti. When Caitlin Clark joined the WNBA, Smith was bound to turn her into a theatrical event, and he did. His intense, high-octane delivery has turned the discussion about Clark into a spectacle, which is evidence of his distinctive bombastic style. In addition to studying basketball, he is producing a spectacular show with Clark as the undisputed star and his own voice serving as the thunderous music.
You want to promote the sport. You put that girl up in there, and people were appalled at that notion.
But
that was
Stephen
the
A.,
subject.
In a lively outburst of enthusiasm brimming with dynamic gestures, memorable statements, and bold analogies, Stephanie bravely stated what many others already believed, but were reluctant to acknowledge. Her presence is electric, her game is undeniable, and Stephen A. made sure everyone knew she's a force to be reckoned with, an undeniable superstar in the making. Caitlin Clark is without a doubt that girl, an MVP-caliber talent who commands the court with confidence. She's the kind of player who demands the ball and leaves defenders scrambling. Her unstoppable style makes seasoned opponents question their skills and front offices second-guess every pick that didn't land her earlier.
What's crazy is you had Monica McNutt, Andrea, Shanae, all on the panel right before the game, and they had a graphic, an interesting graphic that popped up showing that Caitlin Clark had the best odds to win the MVP this year.
And yet there, he was dissecting her game with the fervor of a man channeling the basketball deities. You could almost sense the ESPN camera's recoil as he launched into his impassioned analysis with the subtlety of a bull in a china shop amidst declarations, like she's an absolute superstar, and emphasizing that it's about more than just scoring. He likely startled a few crew members and possibly even damaged some equipment, but the core message unmistakably clear: Caitlin Clark has arrived. Effortlessly syncing logo 3ES, as if they were simple layups, and making opposing defenders appear to be navigating the court through thick molasses. That's not hyperbole, that's simply another day at the office for Caitlin Clark. Now let's not suggest this was a sudden revelation for Stephen A. We shouldn't pretend he hasn't been a vocal advocate for Caitlin Clark for longer than many of us have entertained the notion of a four-count line in the WNBA. He's been championing her as if she embodies the offensive prowess of Steph Curry, the fiery competitiveness of Dana Terrace, and the strategic court vision of Sue Bird, all while possessing a knack for viral social media moment.
So let's start with our 2025 WNBA MVP, and that has to go to the one and only Caitlin Clark. You can say I'm glazing, you can say I'm hyping her up too much, but I truly think that this second year for Caitlin Clark is going to be like nothing we have ever seen.
However, this is where the story really got intense. Smith made a strong statement that resonated through the broadcasts with the kind of authority only someone who has witnessed and comprehended true athletic excellence can command. Smith didn't just obliquely suggest that Caitlin Clark might be an MVP candidate. He declared with complete conviction that she is the MVP right now. Smith also questioned the very idea of the standard MVP discussion when faced with a legitimate superstar dismantling professional competition in this way. Smith's remarks, which seemed to declare, "Cease the hesitation, witness the extraordinary unfolding," successfully shocked the discourse into a different reality. The underlying message was clear. Caitlin Clark wasn't just a participant. She came to take charge and force a rethink of what it means to be dominant at this high level. Suddenly, the MVP discussion wasn't just a theoretical idea for sports fans. It was a full-fledged televised declaration that seemed to light up countless screens with the same ferocious intensity, usually associated with pivotal playoff moments and contentious political debates.
You got a girl here who's box office in Caitlin Clark. She is box office. We can lament it all we want to, but the fact of the matter is Caitlin Clark is box office. And we got to get that out the way. And I'll get into all of that a little bit more in just a second, because it's very, very important that we point this out. She fills seats. She brings the cameras. She brings national publicity. It's what she does.
But let's take a moment to truly appreciate the almost surreal reality of Caitlin Clark's rookie season. This isn't just a promising debut. It's a statistical outlier that has data scientists in a state of bewildered awe, murmuring about advanced metrics and true shooting percentages. But why limit the conversation to just MVP? Honestly, that might be undervaluing the phenomenon. She's grabbing rebounds as if gravity were giving in to her, delivering assists with the dexterity of a master strategist, and scoring points with the unrelenting efficiency of someone taking advantage of a game mechanic. The sheer number of defenders who are still in need of rehabilitation because of her ankle, she's playing with the effortless domination of someone who has unlocked hidden skills, pulling up from distances that would be deemed unsafe for anyone else. Her ability to break crossovers is astounding. Her shooting range is bold, bordering on impolite. Her composure under duress is surgical. She appears to have been created in a top-secret facility that specializes in creating the ideal basketball specimen. A flawless combination of Steph Curry's shooting Diana Tur's fierce rivalry and ruthless killing instinct in addition to shattering records. The rookie campaign we are seeing is radically altering the course of what is feasible.
Still talking about her. And who's to say they ain't gonna lose again and not win a championship? We're still talking about her. Remember, when Bird and Magic, as phenomenal as they were, the champions that they were, there came a point where despite the greatness of them as individuals and the greatness of their teams collectively with the Hall of Famers they were playing with, we were still talking about Jordan. Before he won the title, Tim, am I lying? Wendy, am I lying? We were talking about him. When's his time? Because we were clamoring for it. And I'm telling you, that's what people, when it comes to women's basketball, are going to be doing with Caitlin Clark, especially.
Not only is Caitlin Clark a rising star, but she's the kind of force that makes you wonder if the WNBA secretly decided to introduce a generational cheat code into the league to shake things up. She's redefining what a rookie should look like. Most rookies are expected to struggle a little, maybe get lost in a few defensive rotations, or get sent to the bench after a brutal 2-4, 111 shooting night. But Caitlin shows up, drops 30 hits, a buzzer beater, and proceeds to sign autographs for sobbing kids while also undermining defensive schemes created by grown adults with mortgages. When Stephen A. saw this, he did what Stephen A. does and burst. However, the true greatness of this moment was not only that he was complimenting her, but also that he did so with the vigor of a guy attempting to win a discussion at the same time. You could almost think he was going to levitate as he prepared a Thanksgiving meal and led a gospel choir at a volume 3 octaves above normal. This isn't just basketball, it's performance art with a hoop.
This girl is a superstar. I've been saying it for years. I keep telling everybody she's the Steph Curry of women's basketball, college or pro. She is a superstar.
The parallels were thus unavoidable because, let's be honest, Stephen A. Smith can't go 5 minutes without bringing up some legendary name as if it were a reflex and he couldn't control magic. Johnson Larry Bird. Michael Jordan basketball's holy trinity of illusions. Stephen, you could just hear him mentally counting the stars as he reeled off the names of basketball legends from every era as he sped through them like he was speedrunning through NBA 2K My Team cards trying to create the ideal lineup. But here's the thing. Caitlin Clark didn't require any of that. She wasn't trying to follow in someone else's footsteps or pattern. She wasn't trying to live up to some mythical standard. She's not the next anybody. No, she's the first. The fact that Caitlin Clark is forging her own route is more than sufficient. 1-3 beginning at a time, she is rewriting the game for herself. While the similarities are wonderful, they don't tell her tale, so she is writing her own, which is, to be honest, much more interesting. She is creating her own galaxy, like a supernova.